Imagine waking up, finding an old penny in your drawer, and realizing it could be worth almost $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny, the 1949 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln cent, has shocked collectors and coin experts alike with its jaw-dropping value. Some examples are now estimated to be worth over $950,000, and there's talk that certain rare varieties could climb into the millions. Before you brush this off as just another old coin, let me ask you something. What if that penny is in your house right now? What if you're sitting on a fortune and don't even know it? Stay with me, because this story might just change how you look at loose change forever. Let's rewind to 1949, post-World War II America. The country was rebuilding, and so was the U.S. economy. That year, the U.S. Mint struck millions of Lincoln wheat pennies, a coin design already beloved by the public. But here's where the story takes a turn. While the Philadelphia Mint produced these coins without a mint mark, not all 1949 no-mint mark pennies are created equal. Some of these coins were struck with exceptional errors, while others were minted using highly polished dies that gave them a mirror-like finish. These rare varieties, invisible to the untrained, are exactly what collectors are hunting, and they're paying a fortune for them. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a 1949 penny, how rare could it be? But here's what most people don't know. The number of high-grade 1949 no-mint mark pennies still in existence is shockingly low. Most have been damaged, circulated, or lost to time, making pristine or error versions extremely rare and extremely valuable. Pattern interrupt, reset attention, and yes, this is the same penny your grandfather might have carried in his pocket, or the one you might have tossed in a jar without a second thought, but unlike most coins from your change jar, this one could pay off your mortgage. Coin dealers and collectors across the country are now offering thousands, and in rare cases, hundreds of thousands, for the right 1949 wheat penny. Earlier this year, a verified high-grade 1949 no-mint mark penny sold at auction for nearly $950,000. That's a penny. Not a dollar. A penny. What made it special? It was in near-perfect condition, graded by a professional service that IT had no signs of wear, and the wheat stalks on the reverse were razor-sharp, and most importantly, it came from a rare die variety, something even most collectors overlook. Stories are emerging of people digging through family coin jars and finding hidden gems. One man from Indiana found a 1949 penny among his father's belongings. It was eventually valued at over $50,000. Another collector claimed to have turned a 1-cent coin into a 6-figure payout simply because he knew what to look for. So, the real question is, do you know what to look for? Because having a 1949 penny isn't enough. You need to know the signs, and I'll tell you in just a second. But first, let's talk numbers. The 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny in average circulated condition is worth around 5 to 25 cents. Not much, but in uncirculated, mint state condition, especially with the rare features we just discussed, its value skyrockets. High-grade versions have been appraised for over $950,000, and experts believe that a pristine, verified error variety could break the $1 million barrier. Let that sink in. $1 million. From a penny. Now, here's what you need to do right now. Check your change jars, old drawers, and any coins passed down to you. Look for the 1949 wheat penny with no mint mark below the date. Examine its condition. The sharper the details, the better. If you think you have something special, do not clean it. Get it professionally graded. This isn't a drill. You could be sitting on life-changing money, and the only thing standing between you and that payday is awareness. Thousands of rare pennies are out there right now, waiting to be discovered. Some in old jars. Others in forgotten collections. Maybe even in your pocket. Don't be the person who hears about someone else cashing in, be the person who does. What if I told you there's a single penny sitting in someone's old drawer, that could be worth nearly $1 million, not a gold coin. Not a rare gemstone. Just one simple copper penny, the 1952 S wheat Lincoln cent. It looks like any other penny you've probably tossed into a jar without a second thought, but this one could change your life. I know, it sounds crazy. A penny worth more than most houses, but here's the thing, those who knew about this early are already cashing in, and those who don't, they're leaving a fortune to rust away in forgotten coffee cans. Transition to the journey. So what makes the 1952 S wheat penny so special? And how do you know if you have the one that could make you a millionaire? Let's dive in. The 1952 S wheat penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint. Hence the S mint mark. That year, over 137 million of these coins were produced, but here's the twist. Not all 1952 S pennies were created equal. A small number were minted with extreme precision, using higher quality dies, and struck under unusual conditions. These coins, when found in pristine, uncirculated condition, are the holy grail for collectors. So what drives the value of this tiny copper coin into the 6, or even 7, figures? Let's break it down. Condition is king. Coins graded as MS 67 red or higher are incredibly rare. Luster and color. A full red penny, untouched by oxidation, is worth far more than its brown or toned counterparts. Die varieties. Some 1952 S cents show subtle doubling or misstrikes, and these rare anomalies push the value through the roof. Market demand. As more collectors enter the scene and supply stays fixed, prices skyrocket. One such 1952 S penny, graded in near perfect condition, was appraised at around $950,000. And experts believe some of the finest examples could cross the $1 million mark in private sales. Let that sink in. 1 cent, made of copper, now worth more than a Porsche 911 or a luxury beach condo. This isn't just theory. Over the past decade, rare penny collectors across the US have sold coins like this for tens of thousands, and sometimes much more. Estate sales, flea markets, even old shoe boxes in basements. These are the places where life-changing pennies have been discovered. Imagine selling a coin you forgot you had, and waking up the next day a wealthy person. It's already happened. And it can happen again. So now you're wondering, could you have this rare 1952 S penny sitting in your home? Check the date. It must be 1952 with a small s under the date. Inspect the condition. The redder, shinier, and more flawless it looks, the better. Look for errors, doubling on the date or lettering. That's a potential jackpot. Get it graded, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for certification. But here's what most people miss. These pennies were common in the early 50s and handed down unknowingly. If your grandparents saved coins in a jar or rolled them up for storage, that treasure could be in your hands right now. Every day, more of these coins are lost forever, melted, forgotten, or spent without a second glance. The longer you wait, the slimmer your chances. This isn't just about coins. It's about legacy, about turning something small into something that could change your family's future. So here's what you need to do. Go check your old coins. Ask your parents or grandparents, look through that old jar, that drawer, that box under the bed, because the next great discovery might not come from a museum or an auction house. It could come from your pocket. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's a penny, but not just any penny. This is the legendary 1909 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, a coin that's quietly shaking up the world of rare collectors, and recently valued at up to $950,000. Some experts say certain examples could reach millions at auction. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent could change your life forever. But here's what most people don't know. Most of these coins were either lost to time, or sitting unnoticed in old jars, drawers, and forgotten collections, and that's where your story might begin. In 1909, something revolutionary happened. The United States Mint released a brand new design for the humble penny. After decades of the Indian head cent, it was time for a new face. That face? Abraham Lincoln. This was the first time a real person appeared on everyday U.S. currency. The coin was meant to honor Lincoln's 100th birthday. But there was controversy. The designer, Victor David Brenner, had boldly included his initials, VDB, on the reverse of the coin, right at the bottom. Critics said it was too flashy, too self-promotional. The backlash was swift. So the mint halted production. They removed the initials. And suddenly, the 1909 VDB pennies, and especially the ones made without a mint mark in Philadelphia, became instant rarities. Only a limited number were ever struck before the design was changed. And the ones that survived? They're now part of one of the greatest treasure hunts in U.S. coin history. Think your grandma's cookie jar just holds sugar and cinnamon. Think again. The 1909 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, with VDB on the back, is an icon. Why? Because the Philadelphia Mint struck a very limited run before pulling the coin. Unlike the San Francisco version, which had an S mint mark, the Philadelphia coins carried no mark at all, making them harder to identify and more easily missed, and that's the key. Most people don't even realize what they have. They think, oh, it's just a penny. But a pristine 1909 VDB with no mint mark, in near-perfect condition, sold at auction for nearly $1 million. Some private sales have allegedly gone for even more, even lower-grade versions can be worth thousands. Collectors and investors are constantly on the hunt for high-grade examples, and competition is fierce. Now here's where things get interesting, because there's one detail about this coin that separates the millionaires from the amateurs. Condition is everything. That if you've got a 1909 no mint mark penny with clear VDB initials on the back, look closely. If it's free from scratches, still has its original luster, and the details are sharp, you might be holding a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and don't rely on guesswork. If you even think you have one, get it appraised. Not by just anyone. Go to a certified numismatist or a trusted coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. You don't want to be the person who spent $1 million penny at a gas station. That we all dream of a better life. A big house. Financial freedom. Helping our family. What if that dream is already in your possession, hiding in plain sight? The truth is, coins like these are still being discovered in old collections, estate sales, and inherited coin boxes. Right now. This year. This month, and every day you wait, someone else cashes in.so. Take this moment seriously. Go check your old coin jars. Look in that inherited coin folder you never opened. Visit local auctions, yard sales, antique shops, and when you're ready to learn more, when you're ready to chase the dream of turning pennies into fortune. This penny, dating back over a century, could very well be the most valuable piece in your collection. The 1910 NO mint mark penny is often overshadowed by its more common counterparts, but here's the thing, it's one of the rarest and most valuable coins in the entire world of numismatics. Now, let me set the stage for you. The Wheat Lincoln penny, introduced in 1909, quickly became one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. But what sets the 1910 NO mint mark penny apart is its rarity. The absence of the mint mark on this coin is what makes it so unique. Typically, coins from that era were struck with mint marks to show where they were made, either Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. However, this specific penny, minted in 1910, had no mint mark, making it an extraordinary error. But here's the catch, this was not an intended design flaw. Rather, it's the result of a rare, mysterious occurrence that made the coin almost impossible to find. Today, fewer than a handful of these pennies are known to exist, making it a holy grail for collectors. And if you're lucky enough to find one, you might just be holding a ticket to unimaginable wealth. Let's dive deeper into why the 1910 NO mint mark penny is so special. The history of the 1910 NO mint mark penny begins in the early 20th century when coin production was a delicate and precise operation. With the minting process not being as advanced as it is today, mistakes were far more common. In this case, the error went unnoticed, and the coin was released into circulation, allowing only a few lucky people to have their hands on it before it disappeared into the void of time. Now, I know what you're thinking, what makes this penny so valuable in today's market? It all boils down to rarity. Fewer than 10 known specimens of the 1910 NO mint mark penny have been identified, and as you may know, rarity is one of the biggest factors that drives the value of coins. So, what is this penny worth? In 2023, one of these rare pennies was sold for a staggering $930,000. And there are even rumors of some examples fetching millions of dollars, depending on their condition. These numbers might seem too high to believe, but they're real. The value of this penny has soared in recent years, thanks to its rarity and the increasing interest in rare U.S. coins. Now, imagine the feeling of waking up one day to find that you've inherited, or perhaps purchased, this elusive penny. You've got an asset worth more than most people will make in their entire lifetime, and all because you had the foresight to hang on to something that others overlooked. But here's what most people don't know, these coins are often mistaken for regular pennies due to their similar appearance to other 1910 pennies. Many collectors and dealers don't even realize the value of these hidden treasures. So, if you've got an old penny in your collection, it could be worth far more than you think. Now, it's time to reveal the big question. what's the current value of the 1910 NO mint mark penny? As we've seen, this coin has an estimated market value of around $930,000. But don't be surprised if it goes higher in the coming years. With the increasing demand for rare and valuable US coins, this penny could easily exceed the $1 million mark. That if you happen to own one of these pennies, you're sitting on a gold mine, literally. But don't just assume your penny is valuable. You need to get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service to confirm its worth. And once it's verified, you can begin the process of selling it to the right buyers who are willing to pay top dollar for it. But here's the catch: these coins are incredibly hard to find. If you don't already have one in your collection, you'll need to act quickly if you want to snag one. The demand is high, and the supply is low. If you're serious about building your coin collection into something truly valuable, the 1910 NO mint mark penny should be at the top of your list. If you're interested in learning more about rare and valuable coins, and perhaps discovering hidden treasures in your own collection, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'll be sharing more valuable coin information that could change your life. So, don't wait. Check your old pennies now. You might just find a rare gem worth a fortune. Remember, in the world of rare coins, fortune favors the informed. Don't miss out on the chance to turn your old pennies into a wealthy future. This is a 1938 NO mint mark wheat Lincoln 1-cent penny, a rare treasure that's valued at a staggering $924,000. And in some cases, it's believed to be worth even more. Could you be holding this life-changing penny in your collection? Let's find out. The 1938 NO mint mark wheat Lincoln penny is a coin that should be on the radar of any serious collector or someone who's looking to make a fortune. To understand why this penny is so valuable, we need to look at its unique history. In 1938, the U.S. Mint produced a limited number of wheat pennies, but what makes this one particularly rare is its lack of a mint mark. For most coins, a mint mark tells you where they were made. But for some unknown reason, the 1938 penny produced in Philadelphia was struck without this identifying mark. It wasn't supposed to happen, and it's exactly what makes it so valuable today. This mistake in production was discovered later, but by then, the pennies had already made their way into circulation. Only a handful of these, no mint mark, pennies are believed to have survived, and they are incredibly hard to find. The scarcity of this coin is what drives its value up, and with only a few known to be in mint condition, the demand is enormous. But what exactly makes the 1938 NO mint mark penny so valuable? Well, it's all about rarity and condition. As we've already established, only a few of these pennies were ever produced, and even fewer have been preserved in pristine condition. The value of any coin is determined by how rare it is and how well it has survived over the decades. Coins that are in mint condition, that is, those that have been well preserved and show little to no wear, are highly sought after. And a 1938 NO mint mark penny in great condition could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. But here's what most people don't know: these pennies are more than just rare. They're also tied to an interesting bit of history. During the late 1930s, there was an intense focus on quality control at the U.S. Mint. Yet, this mistake coin was still able to slip through the cracks, making it an anomaly in an otherwise meticulously managed coin production. That very imperfection is what makes this coin an anomaly today. Now, let's talk numbers. While the 1938 NO mint mark penny is generally valued at around $924,000, some experts believe that certain coins, especially those in impeccable condition, could be worth even more. Some coins have sold for millions of dollars in auctions, depending on their condition and the market at the time. So, how can you cash in on this valuable coin? Well, first things first, you need to check your collection. If you have any old pennies lying around, it's time to take a closer look. Don't assume your coins are just ordinary pennies. Even a minor flaw or misprint could turn your humble coin into a small fortune. If you think you have a 1938 NO mint mark penny, it's crucial to have it professionally graded by a coin expert. The grading process evaluates the coin's condition and assigns it a value, which can dramatically affect how much you can sell it for. A coin in pristine condition could fetch much more than one with significant wear, but here's the catch: these types of coins are incredibly rare, and the chances of finding one are slim. However, the potential rewards are enormous. It's a risk worth taking. If you find this penny, you could be looking at a life-changing payday. So, what are you waiting for? Don't let this opportunity slip away. Go check your coins, take them to a professional, and who knows? You might be holding on to a fortune. If you want to learn more about rare coins like this, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned for more tips and insights into the valuable coins that could make you wealthy. The 1940 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny from the United States is turning heads in the collector world, and some have sold for over $920,000. Yes, for a 1-cent coin, but here's the catch: millions of Americans might have this coin lying unnoticed in old drawers, forgotten piggy banks, or dusty jars, and they have no idea what it's truly worth. In this video, we'll reveal why this coin is so rare, how much it's worth today, and what to do right now if you suspect you might have one. So stay with me, because this could be your one chance to turn an old penny into a life-changing fortune. Let's go back to 1940, a year that feels like a different world. World War II was just beginning to reshape the globe. In the US, life was changing fast. But one thing remained constant: the humble Lincoln wheat cent. Millions of these pennies were minted that year. Most were produced in Philadelphia, which is why they carry no mint mark under the date. But here's what most people don't know: not all 1940 Lincoln cents were created equal. While the majority were common and still circulate among coin rolls and collections, a few rare varieties, due to minting anomalies, metal composition shifts, and striking errors, became collector gold decades later. Some 1940 no-mint mark wheat pennies display near-perfect details, full wheat stalks on the reverse, and high-grade red finishes, all of which send their value soaring. And here's a surprising twist: many of the most valuable examples were just sitting in regular households, hidden in coffee tins, handed down from grandparents, or thrown into estate sales as pocket change. Let me ask you something: when was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Because the difference between a 1-cent coin and a $920,000 treasure could be nothing more than a little knowledge, and about 2 seconds of your time. The 1940 Lincoln penny isn't just about its age. It's about condition, rarity, and demand. Coins that were never circulated, known as mint state or uncirculated, can command staggering prices. If the copper color is still bright and the details are razor sharp, that's what gets the attention of serious collectors and auction houses. Even more valuable pennies with errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. These errors often increase value tenfold, and sometimes far more. In fact, one particular 1940 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, in pristine condition with unique features, stunned the coin world by reaching an estimated value of $920,000. But some experts believe that the next one, found in better condition or with a rarer error, could break the $1 million mark. So here's the big question: do you have one of these coins? If you've ever kept old pennies from your childhood, or inherited a box of coins from family, you need to take a closer look. Right now, start with any 1940 Lincoln cents. Flip them over. Examine the color. Check the wheat stalks. Look for clarity in the lettering. If the coin is bright, detailed, and shows no mint mark, you might be holding something special. If you think it could be valuable, don't clean it. Cleaning can destroy the value. Instead, take it to a professional coin appraiser or a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. And if you don't know how to begin, subscribe to this channel. We guide people like you every day on where to look, how to get your coin graded, and what it might be worth. Right now, somewhere in America, someone is sitting on a fortune, completely unaware. Don't let that be your story. Dig through your old coins. Talk to your parents or grandparents. Check those jars, drawers, and albums. Because one lucky find could change your future. And the craziest part, you might already own one, and not even know it. In the next few minutes, we'll uncover the secrets behind this coin, why it's so valuable, who's getting rich from it, and how you can cash in if you have one. Stick with this video to the end. Missing this could cost you a small fortune. The 1941 wheat penny was minted during a crucial point in American history, just before the U.S. entered World War II. Over 887 million Lincoln cents were produced that year in Philadelphia, without a mint mark. So, you're probably wondering, if there were so many made, how can one be worth nearly $1 million? Here's what most people don't know: it's not just any 1941 penny. The real value lies in minting errors, striking quality, and untouched condition. Some 1941 pennies were minted on bronze planchets with unusual properties, thinner than normal, or struck multiple times by accident. Others have near-perfect detail, never circulated. Collectors call these unicorn coins, and the market is obsessed with them. What makes the 1941 no-mint mark penny extraordinary is a combination of rarity and demand. High-grade examples, especially in mint state 68 or above, are nearly impossible to find. To give you perspective, most coins from that year look worn down, scratched, or oxidized. But one flawless piece, untouched by time, sold for over $915,000 at auction, and there's more. Private collectors have reportedly paid even higher amounts, quiet million-dollar deals that never reach the news. Think about this: how many things in your home lose value over time? TVs, phones, even cars, but a single penny from 1941. It could gain value every year. Regular people, not just collectors, have struck gold with this coin. An elderly man in Ohio discovered one in a jar of coins he nearly gave to a thrift store. He got it authenticated, and walked away with over $300,000. Another case in California, a young couple inherited a box of coins from a grandfather. Buried at the bottom was a gleaming 1941 penny in pristine condition. That find cleared their student debt, and bought them a new home. It's stories like these that remind us, the next millionaire might not be the person who starts a tech company, it might be you, with a lucky coin in your old collection. But be careful, many 1941 pennies floating around aren't worth much. Some are counterfeits, others are too damaged. Here's what to look for: no mint mark under the year. It must be clean and centered, deep strike quality, sharp Lincoln profile, clear wheat stalks. No scratches or discoloration. Mint state quality is where the money is. Always get your coin graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Without that official grade, you're just guessing. So what's it worth? As of today, top-grade 1941 no-mint mark wheat pennies have fetched $915,000 at auction. Collectors are willing to pay even more for discovery pieces, coins never seen before in this quality, and the market for rare pennies. It's only growing. We're seeing more buyers, more international interest, and higher sale prices than ever before. There's real urgency here. As fewer coins survive, values go up. And if one has been hiding in your home for 80+ years, now is the time to act. So here's what you need to do: check your old coin jars, drawers, and inherited boxes. Look for a 1941 penny with no mint mark and signs of high quality. Get it graded. PCGS and NGC can authenticate and give you a professional value. Subscribe to this channel. We bring you the latest on rare coins, hidden treasures, and how people are turning small finds into huge paydays. You've just learned about a penny that could change your life. Now the question is, will you find it before someone else does? One such penny does exist. It's a 1942 wheat Lincoln cent with no mint mark. And some collectors are valuing it today at up to $912,000. With rumors of private sales in the millions. Sounds unbelievable, right? But here's what most people don't know: this tiny copper coin from over 80 years ago is changing lives for those lucky enough to find one. In this video, we're diving into the incredible story of this rare 1942 penny, why it's so valuable, how you can spot one, and what you should do if you think you have one sitting in a jar, hidden in a box, or stuck in your childhood piggy bank. Before you brush this off as just another old penny, ask yourself, what if this one coin could change your future? Let's rewind to 1942. America was at war, and the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins to fuel the economy. Pennies were made primarily from copper, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, and wheat stalks on the back. But among the 657 million pennies minted in Philadelphia that year, only a tiny fraction are now considered high-value rarities. Why? It's not just the date. It's the condition, the errors, and the sheer luck of survival. You see, most 1942 pennies were spent, lost, or damaged. But a select few, those in near-perfect condition, with no mint mark, and with subtle die errors or doubling, became extremely rare over time. Now, here's the twist. Some of these coins were struck on experimental planchets, or they feature misaligned dies that collectors go wild for. And because there are so few known examples, the value skyrockets at auction. One coin, graded by PCGS as a mint state red, MS 67 plus RD, was estimated at $912,000. Yes, a single penny, almost $1 million, and in quiet corners of the numismatic world, whispers tell of private buyers offering millions for untouched, high-grade specimens. Why? Because in coin collecting, rarity plus condition equals fortune. Still think your penny jar is worthless? By the way, if you're suddenly eyeing your change like a treasure hunter, good. That's exactly what you should be doing, because most people throw away opportunities disguised as pocket change. Literally. So let's get practical. What exactly should you look for? Start by checking the date, 1942. Then flip it, look at the reverse side. If it says 1 cent with wheat stalks, you're in the right territory. Now check for a mint mark under the date. If there's no letter, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. That's the version we're talking about. But here's the kicker, the real value lies in the coin's condition. If the details on Lincoln's coat are sharp, if the color is a brilliant red, and if there's no visible wear, you might be holding a rare mint state coin. And if there are small imperfections like doubling on the letters or rim, or a die crack, those might be signs of a valuable error. But don't jump to conclusions yet, because there's one more thing that determines everything. To unlock the true value of your coin, you need it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They authenticate it, assign it a grade, and encapsulate it for protection. And if your penny gets a high grade, especially in the MS 66 to MS 68 range, or if it has a unique error, you're sitting on a potential gold mine. At recent auctions, verified 1942 wheat pennies with no mint mark have sold for tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands. And the number of collectors willing to pay top dollar is only growing. So here's the big question, do you have one of these coins in your house right now? If you do, this isn't just a penny, it's your ticket to a new life. A shot at that dream home, early retirement, or financial freedom. Don't wait. Grab a magnifying glass, check those old jars, and start inspecting every 1942 penny you can find. And if you're not sure what to look for, we're here to help. It's the 1943 no mint mark wheat Lincoln cent. A 1 cent coin that's turning regular Americans into six-figure sellers, and in some cases, millionaires. If you've got old pennies stashed away in a jar, drawer, or box in your attic, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it, because this specific 1943 penny isn't just rare. It's one of the most valuable pennies in U.S. history, and here's the shocking part, some people have unknowingly spent these at face value, but what makes this 1 cent coin worth nearly $1 million, or more? Stay with me, because what I'm about to share could change the way you look at pocket change forever. Let's rewind to 1943. World War II was in full swing, and the U.S. government needed copper for ammunition. To conserve resources, the U.S. Mint made a bold decision, stop making pennies from copper, and start using zinc-coated steel instead. Almost every 1943 penny you'll find is made of steel, they stick to a magnet. They're silver-colored and were only produced for that single year, but then something happened. Something rare. A few 1943 pennies were accidentally struck using the previous year's copper planchets. How few? Experts believe only 10 to 20 authentic copper 1943 pennies exist in the world today. That's not just rare. That's lottery ticket rare, and that's why collectors are paying astronomical prices. But here's what most people don't know, some of these copper 1943 pennies have no mint mark, which means they were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. And among them, certain examples have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. In 2010, a 1943 bronze penny sold for $1.7 million at a private auction. Yes, one single penny, but it gets better, or worse, depending on whether you check your coins or not. Take a second and think about this. How many times have you ignored an old penny, tossed it aside, or used it to buy gum? You might have thrown away your retirement. That's not fear-mongering. That's reality for some. Just ask the family that found a rare penny in their late grandfather's collection, and sold it for more than most people earn in a decade. So, how can you tell if you have one? First, grab a magnet. If your 1943 penny doesn't stick, you might have something special. Real 1943 copper pennies are not magnetic. Next, check the color. A copper penny will have that familiar reddish-brown tone, not the silvery look of steel, and lastly, look for the absence of a mint mark beneath the date. If there's no D or S, it was struck in Philadelphia, which is where the most valuable ones have surfaced. Now here's the final cliffhanger. The current estimated value of a genuine 1943 no mint mark copper penny is around $908,000, and some are believed to be worth over $1 million depending on their condition and provenance. So what should you do if you think you have one? Don't clean it. Don't spend it. And don't ignore it. Get it evaluated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC, and if you're serious about selling, work with a reputable auction house. That penny in your pocket could change your life. This isn't just a story about coins. It's a story about opportunity hiding in plain sight. So the next time you come across a penny, don't look at it the same way. Look at it with curiosity. Look at it like it could change everything. And if you're sitting on a collection or just curious about what your old coins might be worth, now's the time to act. There's a small, rusty coin hiding in old drawers, dusty piggy banks, and forgotten coffee tins. To most people, it looks worthless, but to coin collectors, it's a goldmine. The 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark could be worth up to $905,000, and some believe its value could climb into the millions. Right now, someone could be holding this coin without having any idea what it's really worth. In the next few minutes, you'll discover what makes this humble penny one of the most valuable coins in American history, and more importantly, how to find out if you have one. So before you toss that old jar of pennies for laundry change, watch this. It might be the most expensive mistake you ever make. Let's rewind the clock to 1944. America was deep in World War II. Copper was a critical resource used for weapons and machinery. To conserve materials, the U.S. Mint had already switched to making steel pennies in 1943. But in 1944, they returned to copper, using recycled shell casings from the battlefield. However, a few rare pennies from that year were struck on leftover zinc-coated steel planchets, and others, like the Philadelphia no mint mark wheat penny, were minted in copper but ended up being far more valuable than anyone could imagine. Here's the twist. Most 1944 pennies aren't rare, millions were produced, but when it comes to rare coins, it's not just age that determines value, it's about errors, anomalies, and condition. The 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark, especially in pristine condition, is believed to have a unique composition or striking error. Combine that with high collector demand and very low known supply, and you have a perfect storm of value. One verified 1944 no mint penny in MS 66 red sold for over $300,000 at auction. Another was valued at $905,000. But here's what most people don't know. Some experts believe there are still uncirculated 1944 wheat pennies with rare traits out there, coins that could fetch over $1 million in the right sale. Just last year, a man in New England sold a rare penny for the down payment on a house. Another collector traded a 1944 copper penny that he found in a $5 flea market box for nearly $400,000. These stories aren't urban legends, they're real, and they're happening more often than you think. But most people don't even check their old coins. They let them sit for years, slowly corroding in coffee cans and sock drawers. And every time that happens, another fortune slips through someone's fingers. Segment 4, how much is yours worth? If you're holding a 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark, here's what to look for. It should be copper in color, weigh about 3.11 grams. The back should feature the classic wheat ears design, but the value depends on more than just that. You need to get the coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. The higher the grade, the higher the value. And if it has a striking error, a doubling of the date, or unusual coloration, you might be sitting on a 7-figure treasure. Segment 5, what to do next. So what should you do right now? Start by checking your old jars, boxes, and wallets. Dig into your family's coin collections. Ask your parents, your grandparents. Look for the 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark, and when you find one, don't clean it, don't scratch it, and don't sell it to just anyone. Reach out to certified coin dealers or grading services. Post in trusted numismatic forums. This isn't just about finding a coin, it's about finding freedom, the kind of freedom that comes when you turn an old, forgotten penny into a new house, a new car, or a life without debt. Final call to action, emotional close. Coins like these are changing lives every day. quietly, unexpectedly. The question is, will you let yours go unnoticed? Or will you be the next story we tell, the next person to strike it rich from something as small as a penny? Subscribe now for more rare coin secrets. And don't forget, your fortune might already be in your pocket, you just have to look.